Hello everyone, and welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm glad you're here. For this project, we start out with carving some foam into an interesting stone or crystal shape. And I do a great example of what not to do with cutting towards yourself. Very foolish. Using some Mod Podge, I just glue together some foam pieces to start the base. After getting all of the crystals carved out, then it was time to cover them with some Mod Podge to give them a nice coat before they get painted. And I decided to try and go for like an onyx kind of look. So I started out with a base coat of black. Once the paint was dry, I put some clear Elmer's glue on them to give them a nice shine, and ended up being exactly what I wanted, so I just left it as that. Now back to the base part of it, I just went through and started ripping out foam, using pliers, using my fingers just to rough up the edges to make it look more like natural stone or dirt. I had taken a bunch of foam pieces and rattled them around in a container with some rocks to soften up their edges and make them look more like stone, and decided on a few pieces and where to put them. I think these came out really good. Once I had the stone positions figured out and had them glued in, or not glued in place, but ready to go, I started with some grout to fill in some cracks, and I thought I'd try and use the grout to stick the stones down, but that didn't work, and I ended up going back and gluing them down. With the grout all dry and the stones glued down, since the grout didn't hold them, I just started coating everything with another base coat of black. And after getting the paint dried and choosing the 4 out of the 5 crystals that I wanted to use, it was time to put them in and tie them together to give them extra support to hold up to holding a lightsaber hilt. All I did was use some twine and weaved it back and forth, wrapping it around them and using hot glue to hold it all in place. Then I used some stain-like stuff to make the rope look a little older, or the twine, seeing how it looked so shiny and new. Once I had all the ropes stained up and looking a little older, then it was time to start painting the stones. I tried making a bluish gray color, and I think I was able to mix some really great color, and it came out nice. I hope in the future I can duplicate it because I really liked it. Once the initial base coat on the stones was done, then it was time for my favorite part. Dry brushing on a lighter color to bring out the details and give them much more depth and realism. Then it was time to start dry brushing on some lighter browns into the roughed up edges to make it kind of look like dirt and or stones, just to give it some depth. And this process came out great. Once all of the dry brushing was done, then it was time to add some static grass to bring in the vegetation part of this project. So I put on a little bit of Mod Podge in a couple of spots and tried out some 4mm static grass and used my static grass applicator, not for the first time, but for the first successful time. The first time I used it, I had my own, that twine from earlier. I cut that up and used that as a grass material, and it didn't seem to work as well. So getting the proper static grass is important. After the couple of patches of the 4mm static grass, then I switched to a 7mm and I used a light green and a medium green, doing one after the other. I think this grass came out great, and I'm really liking this type of part of a project just almost as much as the dry brushing. Once the grass was dry and it was time to put on some more vegetation in the form of little tufts of grass and flowers. And this really adds a nice element to the whole project. and a little splash of color. I started out with some purple flowers, then I switched to some yellow flowers and just tucked them in here and there where I randomly thought they would look good. Now, to make it not look like a well-manicured lawn, I add some little tufts of grass here and there just to give more depth and height to some spots of the grass flocking and static grass, and this just is awesome. I love doing this part. As I put on another type of grass tuft, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and I will see you in the next video. There was an added element that I did not put in the video, but that was just a little part for holding an extra kyber crystal for display.